Got the game from the old school. Focus on break no rules. Operate on my own truth. I've been making my own moves. I keep hearing this game saying you could be the one if you so choose. Got the game from the old school. Focus on break no rules. Operate on my own truth. I've been making my own moves. I keep hearing this game saying you could be the one if you.
Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you like the video or if you like any other content on this channel, please feel free to like the videos, no matter which videos they are, and also feel free to subscribe to the channel as well, so you can be in the loop when it comes to new content dropping, being sports related like boxing, track and field, or soccer, or being social issue related. So I just had to sit back and reflect on things that I was going to say about this particular issue, and it has to do with the Amber Guyger verdict. Now, with this, we have to just understand one thing, and I'm not going to even lie to you. I will not even lie to you. When I first heard about the verdict, I was actually surprised she got 10 years. I was in shock. I was like, wow, she got 10 years. And the reason why I was in shock about that is because, usually when a cop does commit a murder, a cop with the protection or the complexion for the protection, usually when they commit a murder, they usually get off with it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just unwritten rule, because it's happened so many times already. I think one of the biggest times it happened was when, my brother, tribal brother, I should say, Ahmadou Jallo, got shot 40 times by cops, and they got off. Each and every one of them got off. When basically Eric Gardner, those cops got off too. Another brother, Mohammed Ba, those cops got off as well. I can name so many. Sandra Bland, Corey Gaines, and she was just doing that to protect herself. You know what I mean? There was another time where I forgot what her name was, but this was in prison. I think she was in jail, and she said, "I don't want you guys to kill me." She was mentally disturbed. I forgot her name though, but they just did her so bad. She said, I don't want you guys to kill me. Don't kill me. I thought you guys weren't going to kill me. But what did they do? They stripped her naked and they tased her to death. Literally. They tased her to death, and then after that they were acting all surprised that happened. You guys knew exactly what you guys were doing. I don't know why you guys are acting surprised. So with that being said, I was actually in shock that they even got that time. This was really a surprise. Was it enough time though? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've said it before and I said it again. And you guys may not agree with this, but I have to say it. when you are a minority, especially when you have black skin, you're really out on the field in this country, okay? You really are. You have a couple of enemies. You have the enemy within, because the enemy within, you know, unfortunately, sometimes it can escalate the situation because it, you know, without you controlling yourself, it can sometimes like make for a bad situation. It can make a bad situation worse. But then you have the enemy on the outside, which is the police. They're not your friends. I don't care what anybody says. Police are not your friends. Police are rarely. I've known police to rarely serve and protect. You know, I've rarely seen that actually done. I've rarely seen a police actually help someone who was in need. You know, I remember one time I was on Slauson Boulevard. I kid you not, this happened. I kid you not. I really kid you not. I promise you. I promise you. I absolutely promise you. But I was on Slauson Boulevard, and there was a woman across the street getting mugged with her purse. There was a cop over there, there was a cop, like, close to me. I don't know what he was doing, but I'm like, hey, there's a woman over there getting mugged. I'm like, look at that. He said, oh, thanks for telling me. And that's all he did. That's all he did. And the woman got mugged, and she was sitting there all, like, distraught. And the woman also got hit. And I'm trying to tell him, look at what's going on. He's saying, thanks for telling us. It's like, aren't you going to do something, bro? That's how I knew where I stood with cops after that incident. And so that's how the mentality should be. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. You know, as far as Amber Guyger is concerned, man, like, I'm not gonna much lie to you, man. She knew exactly what she was doing. You know, she knew exactly what time it is, man. I mean, now, people are talking about the family's reaction to the whole situation. I mean, look, man, it's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. Okay? As sad as it is, because if it were me, like, the thing is, you know, in African, let's just say in African civil law, African civil law, we have something called qisas, which basically means eye for an eye. So, for example, like if someone kills your loved one intentionally, you have a choice. You can either get blood money from them and let bygones be bygones, or you can have them executed as well. If that was me, I would have her executed, me personally. I know that sounds harsh and stuff like that, and I know it sounds like I'm not showing compassion or having mercy, but you killed someone. You not only killed someone, but you killed, like, potentially further generations of someone. You know, that person unfortunately it no longer has the privilege of being able to continue on their legacy or their generation because they no longer they're dead. You know what I mean? They don't have the potential now to have a family. They don't have a potential to furthermore contribute to the world in a positive way. You know, they no longer have that luxury anymore because you decided to kill them. So if that was me and we were dealing with African civil law, I would be like, yeah, bet, shoot her. I know that sounds very, 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 very messed up, but yeah, I would be like, oh, she killed my brother? No, we're not going to take the blood money. Just go ahead. Just go ahead and get rid of her. You know, that would just be my mentality. Yeah, I know it sounds bad, but hey, man, it is what it is. Because it happened. You know, when my dad, when my dad was fighting against the Portuguese and, the French in colonial, in Civil War, I mean, there were some, unfortunately, there were some Africans who sided with the enemy. And, depending on what circumstances there were, they would be executed too. Hey, can't help you now. You know what I mean? So that's how it would have to be with her. If it was left up to me. If it was left up to me, I would be like, you guys have a choice. You can either have her executed, or you can basically take, forgive her, and she would have to come up with a large sum of money. That's how I would do that. But 10 years, that's basically like, in essence, she's not going to do 10 years. She'll probably do like maybe 2 years and get out on good behavior. That's probably what the scenario we're most likely looking at. And then after she gets out on those 2 years, she'll be placed under like a protective custody. And nobody will even know she was released, and nobody will even know her whereabouts or anything like that. That's how I see that picture playing out, honestly. The reason why I see it playing out like that is it's just like, that's just how it goes, Now, let's look at another case that happened not too long ago. There was a, police officer, I believe he was of Somalian origin, and I guess he felt he felt his life was threatened. He killed a woman. He doing life now, for that. And it was because the woman had the complexion for the protection, and he didn't have that, So, it's no point in saying, oh, the system is against us, the system is this and that. We know what time it is, already. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse, basically. I mean, the only thing I can suggest to do is, at this point in time, it's like really just learn and just be aware of your surroundings and just really tap into something that will allow you to make chess moves in order for you to not end up in the same predicament. I know we don't choose to end up in these predicaments, but perhaps there could be some measures, could be some certain things we do that will allow us to be steps ahead of people who try to do these things to us. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know this sounds crazy. I know this would sound crazy as hell. But basically, like a scenario like I mean, I can't say what I would have done in that scenario, but you know, being that we are behind enemy lines, like, and what I mean by behind enemy lines, I don't mean like we just have to seek and destroy. I don't mean anything like that. I just mean that we're kind of in a unfavorable place as far as, you know, as far as just, you know, being of, you know, being a minority. You know what I mean? We're kind of just in a very unfavorable place, you know, and being on top of that, being a black minority. You know what I mean? I mean, other people, you know, get past this most of the time. Like, you know, if you have like, you know, Asians, you know, you have, you know, certain Latins who, you know, have your more phenotypical European characteristics get those passes, but we definitely ain't gonna get those passes. So, you know, as far as what I would have done, you know, if I was in Barsham Jean's situation, I mean, I know I shouldn't be talking about it or what have you, but, you know, I think the scenario would have played out like I would have been like probably sitting on my chair or something like that in basketball shorts, and as soon as she would have broke in, I would have had my strap right there already. I would have had my strap, and it would have been pointing at her. It would have been definitely pointed at her, like, what are you doing here? You know, I would have straight up point blank period. It's like, yo, what do you think this is? You know, may I help you? Straight up, police or not, breaking and entering. You know, I gotta protect my turf. So yeah, that's what I would have did. You know, but of course, you know, he probably didn't expect that to happen because the I want to say the description of him is like a very like humble, fun-loving guy. You know, so that weapons probably were the farthest thing from his mind. You know. But then the other thing is that, you know, I wasn't really surprised. But the parents' reaction to this whole thing, and the family's reaction, the brother's reaction, like, I understand you have to forgive. I understand that. I understand you have to forgive someone and things like that and everything like that, but that doesn't mean you, like, be so nice to them and try to cater to them. Forgiveness is not necessarily like meaning that you like that person or you want to be friends with that person or you want to be like get to know that person. That's not what forgiveness means. Like, that's not what it means at all. You know, and like for them to do that, you know, I guarantee you, if it came down to it again, if the same thing happened again, if the same scenario happened again, she would have shot the whole family up if they were in there. She would have like shot everybody. You know? So I don't know why they showed this compassion for this woman. You know, when she didn't show her son compassion. Their son, their brother, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to show her no compassion. If I was in that courtroom, and I can only say what I would do. If I was in that courtroom, I would give her all kinds of curses. I would tell her that I hope that, you know, I would tell her, I hope these are the longest, even if it's not a long time, I would say I hope this is the longest 10 years of your life. I hope you endure a lot in these 10 years of your life. I hope that, that you will experience, that picture playing out in your head over and over and over and over and over and over again of you taking an innocent life for no apparent reason. I would go hard on her, very much so. But I don't know, man. These people are, they just have their way. They just have their way. And so with that being said, man, I'm going to stop ranting about this whole thing. All I'm going to say to people is just be careful. Stay on guard. I recommend reading books like Sun Tzu, Art of War. I recommend also, just reading any books about tactics and stuff like that, so you can very well prepare yourself for things that there are to come. I'll give you a little bit of information. One thing that I have learned to do when being followed by a cop or something like that, one thing that has helped me with them following me and stuff like that is if one does follow me, if one does decide, okay, I'm going to follow this dude, what I do really is I go into a residential neighborhood, basically. I let them follow me. I'll let them follow me into that residential neighborhood like they usually do. And then if I see someone who's eyeing me or who's just looking at me or something like that, I'll just basically stop the car, put on my emergency blinkers, and just start talking with them. And I'll act like that I actually know the person. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, hey, what's up? Where can I park? And stuff like that. And then in me doing that, it basically negates them having any quote unquote what they call probable cause for pulling me over or something like that. You just have to know certain things, what to do. The thing is about cops, I'm going to say this one thing about cops. For one, they're always going to be around, and they're always going to be either on the side of you or behind you. The thing is about their police cars is their police cars are very quiet. They don't make noise. That's the main thing about them. They don't, you're not going to hear a police car coming behind you because it's very quiet, okay? Number two, chances are when you see a cop, if they make eye contact with you, even if they're across the street, they're going to turn around. They're going to turn around because they think they get offended when you do make eye contact with them. So even if they may be across the street and they're going to just flip a U to follow you and also to pull up on the side of you just to see, okay, this guy was looking at me. I wonder if he's hiding something. They'll do that as well. Right? Number three, we have to know the history of cops and what their original job was in this country. Their original job in this country was they were slave patrol. They were slave catchers. Okay, when there were runaways, the cops would be the first ones to go and pursue those runaways. Okay? That's another thing we have to realize. So with that being said, just understand that mentality has not left them. Number 3, a lot of neo-Nazism, a lot of skinhead, and a lot of Aryanism has infiltrated the police force. I want you to go ahead and not do it subtly, not do it overtly, not do it so blatantly, but I want you to go ahead and look at the police, the makeup of the police in your vicinity, in your area. And one thing you will notice is that a lot of them have shaved heads, okay? And it's not because their job tells them to shave their heads. It's because they're bringing that mentality with them into their job, okay? And that's just what it is. I'll be the first one to say it, and I'll say it this video may be flagged or this video may get taken down, but I just had to say my piece. But no, I do not like police. I do not like police. I do not like the police force. I do not like what that force entails. I do not think police protect and serve. I feel that, that we're responsible for protecting and serving our own selves, whether it be through, through conventional or unconventional means. That's just how I feel about this whole situation, And yeah. It can be any one of us, Any one of us is liable to fall victim, be martyred. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's just, this is a reality we have to deal with. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, man. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. One more thing I want to say about cops. Don't think they don't see you. And what I mean by that is a cop may be to your left side and maybe in the left lane, right? A cop may be in the left lane. Don't think that they don't have cameras all around circling what's in front of them, what's behind them, and everything. So even if you think they're out of that, you're out of their field of sight, you're really not, And so keep that in mind when you're like doing things. Keep that in mind when you're like looking down. If you have a phone and there may be a cop on the side of you and you're looking down on your phone, what they'll do is they'll say, oh, I saw you through the cam. You were looking at your phone driving or something like that. Just be aware of all these little nuances, because they'll do every little nitpicking thing they can to try to mess with you. That's just the bottom line. They like messing. The bottom line is this. This is the bottom line. And I know it's going to sound very harsh, but the bottom line is that in a job such as a police officer, they are afforded privileges which allow them to exercise their full hatred on you. And that's just what it is. They dislike, that's just it, man. And so with that being said, be safe out there. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Forgive me if I'm long-winded in this video. I was debating on whether to keep on doing social issues, but it looks like social issues will continue to be a part of this channel. And, stay tuned though. We're going to have some other stuff soon. I'm going to cover some more of these fights, and just be tuned into that. Bulla signing out. Njara.